Hey guys, really liked the feedback from the first Crucible video that I did, but the biggest piece of feedback was to do a post-game analysis of a gameplay, so that's what I'm going to be doing for this game. We're on Rusted Lands, starting on the A side. So what I always do when I start on the A side is book it to B to try and scoop up some quick kills with some double lightning grenade action. I never fight in the big doorway because the enemy has the advantage on you because of poor line of sight on your side. I go over to the left and aim in the crevice. This is the most popular spot for people to hang out because there's not a lot of room for people to hit you, and it provides quick cover if you're hurt. I choose not to throw a nade because I didn't see a lot of activity on the radar. We have 4 people here though, and they only sent 1, which means there's a big population imbalance for our team on the other side of the map, so I head that way. Spacing is really important, not only because when you're all tightly packed you're a prime target for supers, but it's also to keep map control. We're going to be talking about spacing a lot this game. Here I see multiple targets on that side, so I opt for a grenade to block off that path until I'm in a better position. I kill one person, then I try and scout for the other. The next guy I didn't end up seeing on the radar because he was crouched and very far away. I do end up getting the kill, but an arc bolt grenade comes over the top and takes me out. Not much I could have done about this. I respawn by the silo and I slow down my approach as soon as I see my radar flash. Immediately, I know that my enemy is on top of the silo because of the way the radar is colored, so I jump to start attacking. My opponent is shooting at someone else at the time, so they probably didn't see me on the radar, and I end up with another kill right after that. Jumping on silo when the enemy has control of the A spawn is generally not the greatest idea because you open yourself up to multiple angles of attack. You need to have full control of the middle area before considering jumping on the silo, and even then, it's not the best idea. I head over now to the middle tunnel, which is a risky move, but I see that teammates have pressed up and have good control of the BC gap, so I can safely move in. Tunnel is always risky because it's very easy to get caught thanks to bad line of sight issues. However, if you can make it to the outside, you can usually catch 1 or 2 people trying to attack B because the radar might make them think that their enemy is near B as opposed to the tunnel. A good grenade catches someone for a kill, and that's also a great spot to block off. Usually snipers like to hang out around there. However, I don't stick around for too long because I want to check back on A and the silo because that area is wide open. After getting this kill on the outside, I see a lot of action on my radar that I'm not ready for, so I just book it out of the way. As I turn, I notice the blip on my radar fade away. The blip was a bright red, which means the person is crouched on my level outside around the corner. I shoot once, thinking surely a point-blank shotgun blast would kill him, but apparently not, and I end up being killed from behind. I jump on the silo to check the area for any danger and to see what the situation is. It looks all clear, and I have no desire to adventure onto their side of the territory right now. A quick look on the radar shows that we're all pretty evenly spread out, but we only have 1 at B, so I go to help. Radar also had a red mark pop up on the top right. This means this person is in the tunnel. If it were dead ahead, they'd be on B, and if it was to the right, they'd be on the platform. Another blip shows, and I'm careful in my approach as coming through the big door can lead to a quick death. However, the target dies and there's nothing else on my radar, so I let my 2 teammates cover that side. I patrol back over to the AC gap to engage some enemies. I immediately lock onto a sniper, but I don't kill them. I plant a lightning grenade right at the window to try and kill the target while also deterring them from coming back out. Then I kill a different player who peeked at low health.
Heavy ammo inbound.
Right after I hear heavy ammo inbound, I decide I want to make a play on their heavy ammo spawn. This means I have about 10 seconds to get to their heavy to plant a super. I immediately book it through the tunnel and just try and make it as far as I can into their heavy spawn. I launch my super and end up killing everyone who picked up the heavy ammo, and even though I died, this was a very successful trip. My team was able to get our heavy while I denied theirs, plus I can come back later and grab that heavy ammo. However, the problem with the A heavy ammo location is that it's so far from the main areas of the map that if too many people go after it, it leaves B wide open to grab if you're controlling A and B, so now our main mission is to get back another flag. The area looks clear, so I go to push in. However, right as I enter the area, and again as I go to cap, I hear golden guns being activated by 2 different players, so I head for the back where I have a better chance of hiding. At the time, I don't know if they're on my team or not, but generally when I hear it go active, I just run. Fortunately, my teammate makes a good play and kills one of the golden guns. Unfortunately, a Blade Dancer launches right over the wall and ends up killing me with Arc Blade. Not a lot I could have done about this death either, especially because they were using Hungering Blade. I spawn back at A and I move up to the silo to survey the area. After getting a kill here, I'm taken down to very low health. My only goal right now is to survive. I regen, but then I'm taken low again, so I just end up kiting around the area trying to make sure that the center dot on my radar is never active by positioning myself around walls. With blink shotgunning being so popular, keeping your distance and breaking line of sight often is important. I survive the encounter thanks to teammate intervention. I push up towards C to engage a target and almost kill them. I should have jumped here instead of throwing a grenade, but my teammate gets the kill anyway. Now, I notice that the enemy is in the process of taking B, so I go to C in hopes of taking it for ourselves. Unfortunately, I'm shotgunned down only a second into my capture attempt. I spawn at heavy A and press up to try and push back any advancing enemies. As I head back to A, I see a Blade Dancer leap into the area and I make the executive decision to kill him in his face. I usually end up saving my Fist of Havoc for 3 reasons: stopping the enemy from capping, making a play on enemy heavy, and Blade Dancers. This ended up being a very good decision as there are 4 people in the area all bunched up, so the Blade Dancer would have gone to town, not to mention that I save A. A spawn flip wouldn't have been too bad here, but all it would have taken is for the enemy to grab a couple of kills to stop our progress, and then we would have been in a lot of trouble. After saving A and noticing that we still lack a second point, I make a push for C. C is a little bit easier to push for than B because it tends to, 1, lack enemy players because B is the easier and quicker action to most players, and 2, it tends to draw people over from B to C, leaving B more exposed. Teams really tend to overdo it when trying to save a node. I grab a very lucky kill here. This was a 2-stacked Hawkmoon shot. I knew the target was on the low ground because of the radar. I thought they were just hiding in the corner, but they ended up running. Unfortunately, our timing is awful because heavy ammo just spawned and we get rocketed to death, but the attempt was not in vain. Because we were pressing C so much, the team fell back to the water and used up some of their heavy ammo saving C. That time spent defending C meant my team could assault B. My team ends up capping B, which is great. The enemy team is still capping C, so I want to harass them while I can. I throw a lightning grenade, which stalls their progress a little bit. The goal right now is to just be as annoying as possible, keeping their attention so my team can really lock down B with good positioning, or let my team recover and get back to good positions. I'm just running back and forth in the area, just being really annoying. I go to assault C, which in retrospect was a bad idea since we had B, but the enemy starts attacking B at the same time, so it's all good. Sadly, I made an error with my jump, and even though I expected the same shotgun to the face from the same angle, I accidentally jump, which disables my ability to shoot for a fraction of a second, and I end up dying. I spawn over by B, but I know the AC gap basically has no help because my team has a very large presence at B because they were defending. As I spawn in, I can see 3 people over by B with a 4th pressed up into the BC gap. That means only 1 person at most could be watching the AC gap, so I need to fill up that spacing. The enemy has already leaked into our territory, but some well-placed shots end up saving the day. I immediately press up towards C in an attempt to contain the enemy. However, now we have a new problem. The enemy flipped our spawn, and I am ill-prepared for the ever-so-common blinking shotgun hunter. We flip our spawn to the BC gap, which is fine, but our next goal is to take C, which in theory should be easy. Holding A and C is not really the ideal on this map because it's pretty difficult. I get a kill on one target, then try to figure out the location of the other. The other target is a hunter who throws a trip mine grenade, so I know he's on the stairs, but they planted it in a great spot so that I couldn't just jump up to directly engage. Instead, I jump straight up to engage, but I see Golden Gun is now active. I try and time my jump just right so that I could just pop a shot and fall back down, but the enemy hunter makes a great shot and gets me. However, my team is there to follow up and we take C. I spawn back at BC Heavy and scoop up some of my heavy spoils from earlier. I go to run out but see a target coming from the tunnel and they saw me reload, which is bad for me. Luckily, I finished the reload and managed to survive the encounter. I choose not to engage the next target because I don't know if they're attempting to fight me or someone else, and I choose to regen my health instead. However, they come into my line of sight, clearly not fighting me, so I engage. We're getting very close to the end of the game, so I decide to just super over the B wall to kill the target on the other side. I don't get them with Fist, but I finish them off with my heavy. C is now under attack, so I want to book it over there. When I see my teammate taking the direct route to C, I decide to go through the other side to split up our attack from multiple angles, not to mention engaging from there can be tough at times. I quickly scan for the target, fall back, and then switch to Hawkmoon when the target will require slightly more precise targeting. I nail them with a crit, which causes them to back off to regen. I throw a lightning grenade to stop them from capping the point temporarily. Right after I throw my grenade, I notice my radar light up from the right, so I immediately turn, but the target is dead before it's even a problem. I make the decision to just keep going that way because I remember the target had jumped down the stairs, and even though they tried to pop some more shots on me in an attempt to catch me off guard, I figured he might make a move elsewhere. Instead, he activates Arc Blade and beelines for me. That grenade ended up being the thing that saves my life, as it hits for 61 damage as I shoot him down for the remainder of his health. The rest of the game is just spent trying to grab a kill to finish the game faster. This game was a pretty textbook way of playing Rusted Lands. We maintained control of 2 points for a long time, we kept up our patrolling of the areas, rarely going to them and letting them come to us out of desperation. A, B, and B, C are good combos to hold, but the biggest contributing factor to this performance was my spatial awareness and being aware of what areas on the map were unpopulated by my team. It's very easy to get lost in the chaos, but proper spacing is a great way to keep a team on lockdown. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this kind of breakdown. I know I definitely liked it a little bit more. I'd like to have the next video focus a little bit more on a radar-focused victory, but I'll see what I can do about that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.